certainly, I'll have to reiterate this. There is no monetary incentive, for doing these
Try.
projects.
Yeah.
That's
If
not what it's
anything,
about.
yeah. If anything, you lose money doing it.
Oh God,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, I could be working in corporate still, earning, six figures, but I choose to do this and earn, bare bones enough to pay my bills, and that's about it. So,
right.
uh,
Right.
just wanted to say that.
No, people think that everyone's a grifter. If you make money off the subject, you're a grifter. It's like no, no, that's no. Most of us are funding it by ourselves and
Yep.
losing money. I mean, look at even James Fox. I hate to say it, like his whole situation with Discovery and everything. Like he basically got no money for Moment of
Yeah.
Contact. Like
Yeah. It's
imagine
just
that.
so
Imagine
bad.
that. It's
Yeah.
and he's one. As far as I'm concerned, he's one of, if not the best UFO documentary, investigative documentarian that there is. I think
I agree.
he's up there. Like I said, I think he's the goat, and I really enjoy his style. But
Yeah.
it is it's a sad reality, is what it is. Because then you got guys like Stock Dr. Greer and who are you know very well off. Not to say
Exactly.
one or the other is better or worse. It's just it's that's the reality of this world. Is it's you got to be, if you're in it for the right reasons. The money is the last thing that you care about. But
Yeah.
and that's what I really like about you.
I appreciate that, and I think one thing that people need to remember as well is like, and I'm in this for the passion because I love the subject. I don't expect anyone to just believe that blindly. But if I wanted to make money, why would I be in the UFO subject when there are so many other things to do in this world to make money? So many more easier things to do. Trying to make money in the UFO subject, if that was a thing, would be like trying to get blood out of a stone. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So why would I be? And it's not just me.
Right.
Or a lot of good friends of mine who have that grifter tag thrown at them all the time. It's just become a buzzword where people throw it around to try and cause offense, and it's fallen flat on its face because no one really cares anymore. We're just the people that are doing the work for the right reasons are doing the
It
work
just
for the
rolls
right
off.
reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
honestly, it just rolls off. And I've said it countless times, that, you know, dude, people need to eat. Like, they need to pay their rent. And if they're putting their time and effort, like right now, I'm filming my first documentary, and it's a slow
mm,
process, and I'm funding it,
yeah,
myself. And, it's been amazing, but it's also been very stressful in its own right. So, like coordination wise, and it's like that's a talk for another time. But you
yeah,
said you got into this because of the mysteries of the universe, right?
yeah.
Um, I was always that guy, like at the party, who would be smoking a joint, you know, and huddled in the corner, talking with the friends, like about existential stuff, like what happens after we die? That are we alone in the universe? What are your thoughts on in the testimony you've been exposed to, in your educated opinion? What's your best guess at some of these questions? Do you think consciousness survives death? I know, I
Yeah.
know.
I mean, there's been some great work, great research done in recent years that point to there being something there, post death. The work of Nick Cook. Nick Cook coming from his sort of aviation
Amazing.
and defense background, now switching completely over to the consciousness side of things, being involved with the Bigelow Institute for Consciousness Studies as well. I think it's very early days when it comes to that's the science to support this kind of theory. But I believe that it could potentially lead to there being some really big answers. I want to believe that there is, absolutely, but yeah, I keep my eye on that side of the subject as well.
Imagine, because I've always thought that there was, for me, one of the moments that set me on the course of doing the show was I was in the room with my mother as she passed away, and I remember it so, and my audience is gonna be like, dude, we've heard this story like 900 times, Ty. Come on. But I kid you not, like it's what I call a moment of conversion. I already had one when I was a kid, but it's like you question those kind of memories. But I had a UFO come literally right over my head, classic disc, and that's when I started like. I was like the closeted UFO guy, but always talking about it at parties, and that I was always that guy. But it was really when I was in the room with my mother, I looked at her, she was there. I looked down, I remember looking at my pants, and I think I was reaching for my phone, but I can't remember exactly what I was doing. But something told me to look up, and I looked up, and as I looked up, this when you look down a long highway and you see like the heat wave?
Yeah.
It's dispersion, like blur.
Yeah.
Something crossed my field of vision of like some sort of dispersion blur, and it went out the window. And then I looked back at my mother and she was gone. Wow. I'm almost certain I watched her leave her body. And I don't know what to do with that, right? So that's what led me to doing the show. It's like UFOs, I've seen one, and now I'm pretty sure, what I just witnessed, I was supposed to witness, and I'm supposed to go down this road. So, that's why I asked the question. I ask it to everybody. Do you think, because consciousness, I think, is a big part of this. We talk, Bob Lazar, right? His story, no buttons in the craft. This thing was clearly, operated, if you believe Lazar, it was operated by some other means. And could consciousness be the key to, travel throughout dimension, space? Could that be the key? I don't know.
It could well be, absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing as well. You obviously had your experiences, and a lot of people I speak to have had experiences, and that's why they're like, look, I know it's real because I've seen this and I've seen that. And I don't have the luxury of that, unfortunately. But, this is why it's so important as well, because people, I don't need disclosure because I've seen things, and, there's a lot of power behind that kind of thing. When you speak to people, you can see they genuinely, they've seen things, and that I find that fascinating.
And it's, it's some of the people that have had these sightings, or let's say encounters, let's go a step further, abductions. What you and I strive for, what we, like you said, live and breathe for, some of them give it all away.
Yeah.
They have they have the confirmation we want, and they would give it all away and erase it from their brains if they could. And it blows my mind, because it's like, I do you think that Introducing the ultimate cognitive enhancement solution, BioMind. Today's video is exclusively brought to you by our sponsor, Dentia Herbals. Unlock your brain's full potential with a powerful blend of 9 meticulously selected plants and mushrooms, each backed by peer-reviewed research for their cognitive boosting benefits and safety. Adentia Herbal's formula combines organic full-spectrum powders and potent standardized extracts, ensuring that you receive the optimal concentration of each ingredient's cognitive enhancing compound, carefully selecting the most desirable parts of each plant and mushroom to create a harmonious blend that supports your mental clarity and focus. But that's not all. They infuse each bottle with personal intention of improving the lives, the minds, and overall greatness of each of their customers. Because of their commitment to your well-being every step of the way, you're going to get an exclusive 25% off your order via www.adentiaherbals.com using our code TOTALDISCLOSURE at checkout. All the links will be in the description or on the screen. Richard Dolan said about some people in this community, it would be naive to say that it's all dandelions and roses, like that they're all like super advanced, they've advanced past cruelty or indifference. What side of that are you on?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with, again, I mentioned Dr. Greer, who says that they're all friendly, they're here to help us. Well, you can't say that to the people that have had life-changing negative experiences with abductions and things that have happened to them. It doesn't certainly point to love and light, does it? I mean, look, I think about it like this: with anything in this world, in this universe, you've got light and dark, positive and negative, yin and yang. You can't, good and bad.
You can't have one without the other.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. So
yeah,
that makes the most sense. So good and bad, negative, positive. Surely that's the same with everything. Why? Again,
and that's why I think that's why I think that it's like almost a natural state of human beings to factionalize, right? It's I don't know, because it makes me wonder, like it was the story of the Tower of Babylon, right? Where it was struck down because they got too close, then they divided, or God divided us, or whoever divided us, by separating our languages so we couldn't communicate. It's like factionalism at its core is what's keeping us from advancing. And we see it in the UFO community. Like, dude, it's so present. Like, you got the Lou faction, you got the Greer faction. Like, if we could just step away and all step back, I think there's a piece of the puzzle in everybody's hand.
Yeah, I agree. It's that same old thing, isn't it? Like people say, if we all just work together, that, all these kind of positive things, and it may be true, but unfortunately we are only human, and you will get that sort of part of society who online are happy to just sit behind their keyboard and argue for the sake of arguing, to throw insults out for the sake of trying to get under someone's skin. It's just the way it is in any subject. You'd find it. So I just ignore it as best I can.
You know how many comments I'm going to get on this video about how stop interrupting. It's one part. It's a troll that, like, for some reason hates me, and they create different profiles, and like there was a video literally I did where the guest didn't show up, and it was just me. I was like, let's go live anyway, and I talked by myself, but I didn't change the title.
Right.
And they commented, "Stop interrupting the guest. Stop interrupting," multiple times. And I was like, dude, it was just me. Who are you? And that's the day I figured out it was a troll. And I'm like, you bastard.
Wow.
Like this whole time. Like I listen, I'm the first one to take constructive criticism. I really am.
It's hard though.
It is. And like people like Rogan, you know, they say, don't read the comments. Don't read the comments. But like as a smaller creator, like you read
Yeah.
the fucking comments, dude. You read them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But this is
You
the
know?
thing, and this is what I've noticed on my show is that I'll put